Yeah, I drove down to the cemetery. I took some pictures of our classmates.
All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 6:59. I'm gonna start doing the roll call a little bit differently, so for the video and audio, I wanna go around and have everybody say their name that's here, so that anybody watching can see who's who. So, Ken, you wanna start?
Kenneth Roman.
Gordon Anderson.
Janice Olson,
Matt Losrick,
Mary Beth Tillman,
Jesse Casino.
and Paul Ellers is not here this evening. So if I could have everybody stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes of the previous board meeting.
I move to accept the minutes of the August 12th meeting.
No second.
The motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous board meeting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say aye. No opposed. Clerk's report.
It's been a fairly quiet month. There is some training coming up that has been postponed at the county for the election officers, but otherwise everything's good.
All right, thank you. The treasurer's report. Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick comment on the general fund total receipts. It's larger than normal. That was the August settlement that was deposited. And then the disbursements, we had to divide up. That was the
Loans,
yeah, payment of the loans. Yep. Once we got the August settlement, then we could do that.
the loan and the truck.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
I'll second that.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the treasurer's report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say aye. Board comments? Correspondence? Committee reports? Do you have any committee reports?
I just have one. I was contacted, this could be a board comment too, but I was contacted about 3 weeks ago by a local resident who tripped and fell on the first slab on the sidewalk, and she was quite upset about it, and I said that we would address it, and it's on the agenda this evening, so I just want people to be aware that there was a fall that took place. She's not pursuing anything, but it's just noted. So.
Okay. Any other board comments, or I'm sorry, committee reports? Sanitary district report?
Well, Matt, I see you've got it as under old business.
Yes.
Would you rather wait till old business?
It's up to you, if you just wanna do a report now, or if you wanna get into more of it later, all at the same time, whatever you want to do.
I tell you, we did a handout, 3 pages, and I asked Phil if he would explain the second and third. The first page is basically the best alternative. We spoke with the engineering firm today, and this is the best alternative. So it gives all the prices on here. And then I'll have Phil speak to the growth and the percentage of different types of collection systems disposal within our township.
Mary Beth, the advice you gave me was pretty good. I called Bayfield County, was a property lister, and I got planning and zoning. And they provided me with a spreadsheet that has 583 entries that are sewage treatment strategies components for the town of Bell, 583. I made a graph of that, and you know that when you do this kind of data, it's not correct. It's approximate, basically. But on that spreadsheet, there were 207 holding tanks listed in the town of Bell. There were only 6 mounds listed. Now, we think there are more than that because in the public sewer, which is the town of Bell, 139 is probably the correct count. But in the 100 septic, vault, and variations are listed conventional, drain field, septic. They're all listed in that area. And then under the unknown category, there are 66 that are listed as unknown. So for example, today, we Googled on this database, Richard Dunn, and that came up, it's listed as unknown, but we think you probably have a mound, is that right? Or a conventional drain field.
I believe that's unknown.
It's unknown. Okay, well, then it's correct. Whatever, but
Bill, I'm sorry. I don't have a mound system,
you have a drain, conventional drain?
which I paid for.
Yes, I understand that. Okay. And then the vaults and privies. And so that's the data there. And it's the best data we have. And thank you for directing us to that. The second page is a projection that we've made, kind of a quick history, dating back and looking at holding tanks in the town of Bell since the 2019-20 year. And you can see in 2019-20, there were 3 and 21-11, 21-22-6, 22-23-7, 23-24-5, 24-25-4. So there are a total of 36 installed during that time period, holding tanks, just holding tanks on this now. What I did then was I used a 5-year averaging method so that we know that in 25-26, and this is a projection with 5 years of known data, suggests they're going to be about 6.6 added this year. Next year, 26-27, there's only 4 years of actual data and 1 year of make-believe, that's a 6.6. You get 5.7 as a projection. The next year, 27-28, with 3 years of real data, 7.54, and 2 years of projection data, it ends up at 5.7, and so on, down to the last one, which is 5.5, which is all projection data. It's not based on anything that's in the ground. But when you draw those out, that's what that graph represents what will happen for holding tanks in the town of Bell. First 5 years is actual, the next 5 years is projection. You can see it's a pretty straight increase of about 5 to 6 per year. And so, if Paul were here, I think he would tell you that we now have 23 approved short-term rentals. I applied this same method to those, the public sewer using the first data and the holding tank data. 11 of the 23 are on the public sewer system in the town of Bell. 11 are holding tanks, 1 is the mound system. So what we've got in terms of short-term rentals is about like what we have on that database we got from, not exactly 50-50, but close. Mark, anything else we need to say
No,
about that?
because we're under old business.
Okay. Okay, we'll just take questions or discussion then if that's what you'd like to do. Thank you.
Thank you. First public comment period, any public comments? Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to the town of Bell for all the support that is given and provided in the art crawl. we had another successful art pro. 40 people signed up. I think 39 actually participated. The vendors dealt extremely well with the weather incident on Saturday, which was a downpour and a little bit more gusty winds. And so I just want to say thank you again for all of that. And then the other request I had last month about gardeners, we've had 3 really exceptionally worker bee, competent people step forward. That's Ann Bonnell, Cindy Schmidt, and Muldock. So we're pretty excited about that. We've met, we already have a schedule set up. We're working through the rest of this year, and that Mary Bonnell did that, and she does some of that kind of stuff for work. So it was an easy piece, but we've already started, and I'm pretty happy with that. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
Yeah, I just wanted to alert your attention to this basically display we've established here. It's about the Russian settlement. That was prepared by Greg and Ann Casino. And it's for public information. They can take a look at it. And if there's additions or questions, please let us know. It's going to be part of a new exhibit at the museum, probably next year. And I'm also hoping Ann and Greg will give a presentation, possibly in this room, about the information they found about the early Russian settlers of our community.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, yeah.
Sorry. I'm just reporting on Cornucopia Day. I'm Jennifer, Salary Sergeant. I just wanted to I only printed out so many of these, so I can hand them to you guys if you want to see it. And what I can tell you is, hold on. This year, there will be $4,272.75 distributed to the fire department. And there'll be $1,424.25 distributed to EMS. Also, John let me know that the Bratz Corn and Beer profited $3,956.04. The only bummer we've seen is a continued decrease in profit. Actually, I have it from like 2018 till now. I kind of looked at it, just specifically not the Bratz Corn and Beer, but just the raffle. So yeah, that's been kind of a bummer to see. We don't know this year if it seemed like we had less turnout, so we're not really sure. But yeah, that's just, it's always about like spreading the word more and getting it out there. And if you know of anybody or if you yourself would like to help with Cornucopia Day in any way, it would be greatly appreciated. There's some of us that I've kind of stepped away from certain roles, but as Jesse can say, I've been kept in certain roles.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I just brought these. It's just a little spreadsheet if people wanted to take them. I can just set them here on the table.
Sure.
And that's really all I wanted to tell you. And thanks everybody for helping because it helps the fire department. There's also, I know the Halversons usually give a donation individually, and I don't know what that was this year. And then also the bake sale is a benefit that just goes to the EMS. So those are kind of the separate entities on there. There's all kinds of separate ones. And what I do, manage the accounting on is for specifically the raffle and the vendors. So is there any feedback anybody has about Cornucopia Day right now? Okay, that's great. Thanks you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, we all do a lot of different things to make this town awesome, so. I'm gonna head out, so
Okay,
thanks so
thank
much, you guys.
Public comments?
I have a public comment from the Senior Housing Study Group. We've been meeting on the Thursdays before the board meeting. Roger Lindgren couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to distribute this copy, which you have. It basically continues what we've reported before, and this is specifically the notice that the Bayfield County Housing Authority is posting to meet their days requirement. I think it's a 30-day, but it may be a 45-day requirement of posting before they can proceed, and we wanted you to know what was in that posting. That's what we spent the majority of our time on at the last meeting, and wanted to keep you updated on that.
Thank you. Public comments? All right, we're gonna move on. Going into old business, we have the Liberty Shelter Project. We did advertise for proposals because we expected the cost to be less than 20,000. And we had, one of the proposals we had just said, I think it'll be less than 20,000. But we've been talking to him some more, and today he got me some actual pricing. And the total material cost he has here is 10,333, and labor is 9,600, which is 19,933. So it is less than 20,000, and the requirement is if it's under $25,000, we don't need to take actual bids. We already advertised for proposals, so we met that part of it. So I think we should proceed with this. I have talked to him a little bit, but we need to talk some more and try to see if we can make it happen before winter. So, and this, part of this is actually with the understanding that they're not gonna auger the holes. I said I would just do that. And they'll need some other stuff. I don't know if the town can help them with a loader, or I'll do it some, I don't know, we'll figure something out so they don't have to rent equipment. That'll be part of their cost savings. And I was just looking at this too, he has sales tax on here, so that'll save us another $508. So that's about all I have, but I would like to move forward. Now Paul wants to move forward, he couldn't be here, so I want to continue talking to him and move forward with trying to hire this guy to do the project.
Well, thank you, Matt.
I'm gonna make Paul do most of it, so I'm just talking for him tonight.
Just trying to.
He's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, right.
Did he give us a drawing proposal?
No, he said he did another one. He just got this done today. I just talked to him less than a week ago. So I told him what I wanted, because he had a drawing in the last one, but he had a shed roof. And I told him we wanted a gable roof. So he had another thing drawn up, but I don't have it yet. So it'll be just a gable roof over that with the steel that matches the green shed. It's galvanized metal. So I can just forward everything as it comes from him if you get to see how he drew it up and what we have for an idea, so.
We already made a motion to proceed with this, didn't we?
I can't remember what the actual motion was for this.
That's on my desk, when you grab it.
Sure. Or we can just make another one, I guess. I mean,
So the last motion was tabled.
Oh, okay. I
Table
remember
till
what it
further
said. I remember reading it, but I don't remember what it says.
yeah. All right, well then, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the
I'll
rental of
second.
the.
And it's Justin Gingrich.
Just
I will second that motion.
Yeah, Gingerich. Okay, so the motion is made and seconded to proceed with Liberty Shelter Project, Justin Gingrich. I have a motion and seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. There's no opposed. Sanitary District Improvement Project. What, you wanna start with
I'll
that?
just give you we really didn't do anything differently than what I talked about last week, except I spoke with our engineer today and our attorney. Question was asked, and I thought I would try to get an answer from the attorney about if we could specifically exempt people that had mound systems from being included within the boundaries, and he said absolutely not. So, but I did tell people in our community that I would check on that. When I talked to the engineer, he said he could see no reason why we could not take the septic waste from open mountain systems. Because there weren't a lot that were disclosed, and he didn't think that would interfere with operations of the plant. And so what I have here, and everyone can have a copy, and I'm sorry it's not very good, but these are preliminary estimates from earlier this year. This is called a used rotating biological contractor with continuous discharge to dry run to Lake Superior. Chemical storage is located at the RBC cover. Now, the RBC's units, those are the things you see up at the recycling center, where the gravel used to be and where Matt stores dirt and things of that nature. So if you see three great big white things that are round, that's what these used RBCs are. So the capital costs in terms of developing that, the site work, which includes the roads and the infrastructure, we're estimated at $757,000. The used RBC, which includes using those units and setting everything else up, was almost $1,997,000. The phosphorus removal would be another $58,000, and we'd have to use ultraviolet disinfection. So that would be an additional $100,000. So the construction subtotal would be about $1,912,000. The project implementation costs, these are mostly, I would believe, engineering costs, would be $500,000. So the total cost here is $2,419,000, okay? However, I did speak with our engineer today, and I said, when I discussed this earlier with the town, I figured that the levy might be as high as, our loan that we'd have to repay would be as high as $1 million. He said I would keep that in mind. Basically, the $2,419,000 would be paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources with a 0% interest rate. They could forgive as much as $2.1 million of that debt. However, I want to tell you that the $2.1 million is money from the feds. It's a Wisconsin Clean Water Fund, but the debt forgiveness money is not from Wisconsin. It's a flow through from the federal government. I personally think it's at risk, okay? So I don't want anyone to think that it's only gonna be $300,000 we have to repay, because that's, if you do the math, that's what it comes to, because costs keep going up. This project started at $600,000 about 5 years ago. So the costs continue to rise. We're figuring the annual operation and maintenance costs would be about $72,000, which is a lot higher than our current operating costs on what we have. And would probably involve the hiring of another person. So we probably end up having 3 operators on staff at our little facility, which is kind of neat. We'll provide employment for someone else in the community. But that $72,000 for the example, for the 1,200 loads that we take into our system now, okay, that's about what we figured we take in every year. That would cost $60 a load to pay for that. And right now we're half that, actually less than that. So we'd have to increase the fees to pay for the operation and the maintenance. Now here again, these are estimates. Nothing's been bid. We have no idea for sure what it's gonna cost, but I think the estimate on the operation and maintenance is probably not too far off. But this seems to be the best alternative. The best alternative the board felt was when we had the possibility of getting more money and spraying That way we wouldn't have the phosphorus removal problem. The phosphorus removal problem is, they're really monitoring closely any phosphorus that goes into the lake because of algae blooms and things of that nature. So they monitor that very closely, and every year they get a little bit more restrictive as to the parts per million you can safely discharge into the lake. We don't actually discharge into the lake, it goes down a dry run, but eventually ends up there. So we think that's just gonna continue to get worse. So our plan was to do that spray irrigation, if you remember. We were gonna put these little sprayers all over the town land near the airport and further to the east. Yeah, but that is a very expensive plan. One of the reasons it's so expensive is we were going to build a holding tank, if you will, a lagoon that would hold up to a year's worth of the hauled-in waste in the event there was problems spraying. So you can only spray at certain times and under certain conditions. So there was a big cost involved in building something that's going to hold 7.2 million gallons of wastewater. So we have eliminated that by going in this direction. That's probably the biggest savings. We probably saved about $400,000 by buying those used pieces of equipment as well. So that really helps, but it's still an expensive project. You know, we still would like to go forward on having all of the property within the town of Bell into the sanitary district for the reason of if we ever needed to, for debt retirement. I don't know how much that would be. I estimate that if we borrow $1 million, it'd be $50,000 a year. I really don't anticipate looking at this that would be that high, but I really don't know. So that's the number I'm gonna continue to use. And the other part of that is, in terms of the conventional system, right now, 2/3 of all the waste that goes into our lagoons currently, 2/3 of it is from our collection system within Blueberry Lane, the town itself, Sawgrass development, and marina area and things of that nature. 1/3 of that is hauled in waste. And if you look at the graphs that we prepared, that Phil prepared actually, you'll see that growth is continuing to happen. Like right now, there's 3 people that are gonna hook into our collection system this year. We have 2 within town and we have 1 on Blueberry Lane. These are for sure. And every year, more and more people are hooking into our system. Our system was built 35 years ago, and we should all give thanks that it was well engineered. Because it was designed only to accommodate the existing problem. That's why we don't have pipes laying through every alley and throughout the community. They just roll pipes up to the house that need it. So I mean, it's amazing to me that this facility has lasted so well for so long. Now, hauled-in waste has been an added bonus in that it helped us with money and helped us keep costs down. And helped us also with this project in that we had money to go ahead and begin the planning process of this. Every time we've been to the town of Bell, I think I've made the case that we want to provide service to all of the residents within the township. And so this is one way of doing that, and also keeping it financially secure. At this moment, I cannot go to a bank and borrow any money. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So we have set aside money in the case we have a catastrophic failure on the lift pumps. You know, those pumps are very expensive each, and a catastrophic failure would cost a lot of money. So we can't go to anybody and get money fast. So we've got a prudent reserve, I think, set aside. We've always been able to cover all our operating costs. We haven't had to do any levies for our existing people within our district since the original levy that was done 35 years ago. maybe even 36 now. So I think we've done a good job managing basically all our users' money and also providing the service that was our mission, if you will, when we started. So this is the next step in order for us to continue to do that. For those within the existing boundaries, I say this will prolong the useful life of our sanitary district. We will no longer have to haul in waste, which is more concentrated than the waste that comes through the pipes, directly into the lagoon through the lift stations. It's not as concentrated. We're looking at, down the road, $300,000 for sludge removal. There's no money for that. So whatever we can do to minimize sludge, we need to do. So it costs 10 cents a gallon for sludge removal. So by including everyone within the district who benefits and those who unfortunately may not benefit as much, this, I think, is the best direction for us. I'm really hoping that I can serve all the public needs within our township. I'm really hoping that my loan of $100,000 from the DNR is not more than that. But I'm so pleased that the DNR thinks they've got a priority on this project because of the need. So that's why it's 0% interest for 20 years. So that really saves a lot of money long term. So with that being said, I will ask my partner in crime, Phil, if he's got anything he
Well, I think the only thing that we could add is we've made a request to Tammy Baldwin for congressionally directed funding. And we requested the whole amount. And we think we can get up to 2.1 million there. There's a limit. As Mark has said, it's all federal money. And so we think if we get it from Tammy, we probably will not get it from DNR.
Yes.
So that's sort of the background here. We've gone to all the sources that we think are available. The Wisconsin DNR and our senator, and she submitted it on our behalf, and it was still alive as of about 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, we're gonna see but the most we'll be able to get in federal money is probably the 2.1 million. Now, some people have said that the DNR has more funds available. I'm not counting on it, I'm not gonna mention it. But I'll mention it, but I'm not gonna give anyone a number, because that's bar talk, if you will. There's nothing behind it. We have no substantiation to believe that would be true. So with that said, I will open, you can either ask Phil or I questions concerning this project. Right now, we're not moving forward because I don't have the money to pay the engineering firm. We stopped because we want to keep a prudent reserve.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
It's not a public hearing, this is a
Okay.
board meeting, so we're trying to avoid everybody talking, actually.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We wanna get some answers or get some information before we start the fighting process, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking the question about mounds.
Well, I guess I should direct that to the board because it is old business.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any questions you'd like to ask?
Okay, if you want to incorporate the town of Bell, the entire town of Bell in the sewer district, correct?
Yes.
Does that include federal land, county-owned land?
Yes.
And will they pay if we build them?
Every now and then they will pay in lieu of taxes, but I'm not gonna tell you yes or no, because I don't know.
Okay. Worst case scenario, if we won't get any federal funding or any state funding, how much is it going to cost us?
If we didn't get any federal or state funding, I would say that I would just say, we tried, and I would leave it alone.
Part of what we're doing with our monitoring every month, and we've been doing this for the last 3 years, what we get for collections on a monthly basis. We've developed a crude system now that tells us if we would need to stop accepting hauled-in waste. And that was something that Mark asked me to do about a year ago, and so we've been doing that. And that's kind of our fallback position, Mr. Roman, is that we can take 7.2 million gallons roughly, 365 days a year times 20,000 gallons a day is what we can take from all kinds of sources. And so what we're trying to do is monitor that. We're 2/3 of the way through the year. And right now, as of the end of August, we're running a little hot. By that, I mean the last 3 months have put us over the amount that we would have to break even so we could stay open till December 31st. If the months of September, October, November, and December are less, we may drop back down to around that 7.2 million gallons or under. But for the last 3 years, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, Mark, we were at 7.5 million gallons. We had a big overage year and we got in trouble then. But since then, we've been able to stay at about 7.2 millions. 2 years ago, we closed. We told operators they couldn't come for a short period
And we
of
cut
time.
them off for a short period of time this past year.
And so we've done a little bit of that. But one of my concerns is that I've shared with Mark and Jesse is that the holding tank development continues. The development of mounds continues. And the development of public sewer connections continues. And so that 7.2 million gallons may be challenged just because there are more of us here using more water, flushing our toilets more often, more frequently. And one way or the other, it all ends up on the hill there. So we're trying to deal with that.
Are we taking waste from outside the town, Bill?
We try not to, but we're not sure. You ask a sensitive question. We try not to. But as some have said, once that material gets in a truck and the truck backs it up there, we don't get data yet right now from number 2 and from Birch Street of the addresses where the material came from.
We have requested it.
We've requested that they not, but you've asked a sensitive question that we don't have a good answer.
Well, I hate to see ourselves competing with sewages coming from, outside the township. It would cause us to sacrifice our local users because we were taking in too much from Clover,
Well, you and I were at a meeting in Fort Wayne not too long ago, and this was an issue that was talked about with the planning and zoning rewrite that they're doing. I think what I heard was that sewage is an issue in Fort Wayne, it's an issue in Clover, and we know it's an issue here. And in all those places, we also heard that short-term rentals were issues that day. So that's kind of the reality that we're living with right now.
But that's kind of like leading the next direction. Is there any difference in cost to a short-term rental versus a year-round residence that's having their tank?
Well, the ordinance, I'm not an expert on that ordinance. Paul would probably be the one, but that's clearly in the planning and zoning committee's bailiwick and in the town of Bell's ordinance. And so I suppose there might be something that could be done there, and we'd certainly be happy to work.
Well, I know on commercial businesses, when they first started the sewer system so many years ago, commercial businesses were paying more because they were a business.
Still are.
Airbnb short-term rentals are also a business. If they're feeding towards the problem, they should be paying some type of business rate versus a commercial or residential rate. For the person that does only take 1 shower a day versus the people that are taking 5-6 showers a day.
Those are the
I'd
kinds of-
like to just clear that one thing up. It was really based on the number of, for the restaurants, for example, restaurants, bars. It was based on the number of seats, tables, and operations. Because the store was lower than the bars. And then the laundromat went in, and so we doubled it. But I mean, the problem with our user fee thing, if there is a problem with it, is that we don't have a water meter.
Yeah.
So when we set it up, it was set up by, at that time, we got all the money from MF, Farmers Home Administration, FMA. They gave us the grant. And they established the user fees in terms of the equivalent user fees. So that's, and we haven't changed that. Now, what we did do is when Pat Radish, because it was abandoned, then when Pat Radish and we then inspected, we made our best estimate as to the user, and the same was true with Greg's kayak operation. That was quite a significant change from where it had been. So we do try to keep up with that. But it's not because they're a business they pay more, it's all based on the number of people that are gonna be using the facilities.
So, just if you could clear this up for me, I didn't quite follow you on the loan part. So you're talking 2.4 million basically for your total projected costs for the engineering and construction.
You know that, it says that on this piece of paper,
Well, I understand that, but just
Yes.
follow with me here.
but yes,
So that's what's on here, 2.4 million.
right,
That's the number that you would get a loan from the state.
the Wisconsin Department of Resources would loan us any amount of money, Matt. to get this.
Okay, that's just what I'm saying. That's the number that you would get from that.
Yes.
Okay,
If
Whether-
everything came in on budget, yes,
okay. So whether that was, any of it had loan forgiveness, whatever, that would be the loan number.
yes.
So my question is, why would we go ahead with bringing in the whole town of Bell to create a levy to to get money from everybody before we even knew any of that information? Because the loan's gonna be there. I mean, I understand we'll have to pay it, but the loan's gonna be there, correct? So like, next month or in the spring, why would we do this levy before we had all more information? Why, if we were in dire straits and needed money, why wouldn't we do that next year?
Well, we're not gonna put the levy on next year. We have no intention of that.
Well, I'm saying that was brought up at the last meeting.
Okay, well, we don't plan on doing that. We figure that maybe things will get started next year.
Okay, so
And
I'm
we won't
confused.
know until it's over how much the loan is.
Okay, I understand that, but,
And then the debt forgiveness is weird too, man, and that is
no,
based on.
okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
I wanna finish with this. So, what are you asking then? Because at the last meeting, it sounded like you wanted to do the levy, incorporate the whole rest of the town and do a levy, like, start that process so that you wouldn't have to worry about money, basically, you know what I mean? That
Right.
you wouldn't have to worry about finance or funding getting cut off or whatever. So I guess for clarification for me, what are you asking for the town of Bell board to do right now?
I would like you to hold hearings on allowing the annexation of the remainder of the town of Bell into the Bell Sanitary District number 1.
And what purpose would that serve right now?
Right now, it would just tell the DNR that they can probably get their loan repaid. They will not loan us the money if we can't repay it. It's that simple.
So they won't loan you the money unless you annex the rest of the town,
Well, unless I can demonstrate to them that I can repay it,
okay?
okay? I cannot demonstrate that to them today,
Okay.
okay? If we double the rates on the holding tanks and we decided that the town was gonna give me 50% of all of the fees for the short-term rentals, and if other funding sources became available, maybe we could. But right now, today, that's all I got, all I know is today.
I understand.
There's no way that I can tell the Department of Natural Resources we can repay whatever they loan us.
Okay, so I guess it seems premature to go for annexation before we have a model of, like, say you're gonna raise the holding tank fee to $100. What would that project give you over the next 5 years? How much money would that be projected? Or, I forget, you just mentioned one other thing, like, if we did a short-term rental thing where if people had a short-term rental with a holding tank, we charge extra and that money went to you. Those kind of things.
Right.
I mean, would it be possible to put those numbers together so that we could have like, some kind of estimate on what that would do for your income? Instead of holding public hearings and going through all that before we can prove to them that we can repay it some other way. Are you following me?
Well, sure, I'm just assuming, I'm hoping I don't have to levy anything, but I don't know. But the DNR does know if I have an expanded base, tax base, if you will, basically what it is, they know that they'll get their money back. So if they're uncertain that they're gonna get their money back, they don't wanna make us a loan. Well, they're operating the same way you and I would. You wouldn't loan money to someone if you weren't sure he's gonna get it back. So it's kind of a catch-22. I can do my best to comply with your wishes, and we'll do that. But what we had planned on doing, Matt, in all frankness, was right now, this plant is designed to have the same capacity as our existing plant. So that means that 2/3 of that pond, we could use for other townships to haul waste in. And we had planned to charge them more money than the town of Bell residents. But there again, we don't know for sure how much of that other township hauling would occur. We've had estimates from Dougie. And I know number two would be very interested, but we don't really know exactly how much more quantity would go into a new plant that has 2/3 unused capacity. But that was our plan. So by putting all of our waste, hauled in waste into one facility, it keeps our other facility operable for a while longer than it would otherwise, and allow us to repay the debt by allowing waste from other communities to come in. And then when we hit maximum, we would cut off the other communities. That's a long-term plan.
I understand all that. It
Okay.
makes sense. I understand it. I'm just trying to, we need to start at step one and continue on. We keep bouncing around between what we're gonna do in 10 years or can do or what's gonna happen. What do we do tomorrow? And so what I'm asking you is, what are you asking us? And you said you wanna have public hearings and talk about annexing the rest of the town into the sanitary district. And I'm saying, right now at step one, how do we avoid doing that immediately? Because I'm not sure that we wanna do that. So that's the only option, I guess, that's really been brought to us. What other options do we have? Can we meet with the DNR? Can they come to a meeting? Can we guarantee your loan because we are the town of Bell as far as the town board or, the town of Bell itself, or,
If the town of Bell is willing to guarantee our loan, that would probably satisfy the Department of Natural Resources.
okay?
I mean, right now, they're looking at our money, and they're going, we could probably figure out if we had a levy to cover our operating costs, that the levy would be used, if I needed it at all, just to retire the debt. So they just wanna know, okay, where's the money gonna come from if we give you $3 million, let's say? How are you gonna repay that debt? So I'm in a box on this one. Without a loan guarantee, without an expanded base, the only people I can rely on are the people that have already paid for the sanitary district. You know what I mean? The people who've got holding tanks haven't paid a nickel toward the capitalization of that plant. So they're the last people I want to go after, and I'm going after them too a little bit because it's going to prolong the life of our plant. So I'm not excluding the people that were part of the first, because it's actually going to benefit all of us. But I really don't know what else to do if I want to move this forward. Otherwise, I got to cut our citizens off probably in December. They probably have to say, I'm sorry, we cannot Dougie, you can't haul any more waste in here.
No, I understand completely, I really do. I'm trying to start with step one. So I'm finding step one. What are our options to move forward right now? And that's why I'm asking if anybody, if you can talk to anybody and find out what exactly we have to do. That, you know, if annexing is our only option, then we explore that. If we have two other options, we explore all three options and find the best one. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because I mean, like I say, I'm still up till now, I was just kind of confused of what was being asked of us, because there's a lot of information, a lot of different things, but, so there's a lot going on, so what is step one? That's where we're gonna start. So tell us what our options are, what we need to make a decision on.
I
Well,
think
at
for
least
us,
the step one has been done. I mean, it's pretty well planned out.
Well, okay, I'm talking about step one after this meeting,
Okay.
what we need to do as a board or as a town. Does that make sense?
yes, I think we thought step one was, this is a pretty controversial proposal. And you're in the middle of it, the town board. And so we thought we needed to talk with you, so you know
Yep,
what's
I
on
agree.
our table.
I agree.
And you've made good suggestions that I think we can take back and work on in our budget meeting and come up with some alternatives to show you what would be some options.
Okay,
And I think Mark,
Well, the person I have to work with is this lady named Monica Bigley at the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. She has cost us so much money in engineering fees, I'm just beside myself. You know, we send her something and she said, well, what about this and what about that and what about this and what about that? Like this proposal that I just showed you today was like one of 15 that the engineering firm had to put together for her. And so I just said, we're done. And one of the things that she requires is, okay, how are you gonna repay this? And, well, it doesn't matter who she is, but I don't think she's probably ever been up here. You know, she's just someone who's checking the boxes in Madison, you know, that's her job. But it's, I could probably get Eric DeVencia, he's our DNR representative who's in Ashland, to come to a town meeting, if you would prefer talking to him, because it's gonna be all DNR money.
well, it isn't what I would prefer.
Unless we get something from County Baldwin.
It's not what I prefer, I just want clarification, like, if, like I said, if the only option that they're gonna accept to give you a loan is the whole town being annexed so that you can get money from everybody to repay your loan, if that's their only option, then that's what we'll have to figure out. But if they say there's other options, what are those options that they will accept because they wanna get paid? So what exactly do they require to give you a loan,
Okay,
if that makes sense?
Yep.
So, I mean, I've been doing a lot of talking here, what, and
Yeah,
there's anybody else
well,
have to say?
No, there,
Makes good sense.
there's a lot of things that, as I'm sitting here listening to this, it's like, okay, user fees can increase. The thing kind of worries me is bringing in business from outside town of Bell, because you may outgrow your facilities again, and we may be back into this cycle of trying to build another pond. You know, your customer base gets so big that it basically overwhelms what we're already trying to do just to save the town of Bell sewer district. So there's a lot of things we need to find out what the alternatives are. But knowing what the government budget's going through right now, I plan for the worst case scenario.
that's what we're doing.
Don't expect a grant from congressmen or senators, because it may not be there to give out.
and you know, if it's decided that, you know, nothing happens, nothing happens. You know what I mean? It makes my job really easy.
But if nothing happens, what is your scenario? Just
Well, I
people
cut
off?
off holding tanks.
Yeah,
I serve the people within the district. It's that simple. That's my mandate anyway. I mean, it'll make my life a lot easier, you know, but I think my job is to try to follow what we've always tried to do since day one, is serve the township. But, you know, if that's just not gonna work, well, so be it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussions? Okay, moving on. New business, well overflow at the community center. You mentioned that already.
Yep.
Is there a proposal or a?
Well, we discussed this, in lieu of this, it's a trip hazard, and, as I mentioned, in my comment, that, an individual did trip on it and, fell and, got fairly bruised up. And, I know other people have complained about it in the past, and I know we have talked about, doing something about that overflow. I know Matt said it had been addressed, but there's still water flowing over that, the cup that's receiving the water there. And it's wet there, and I think it needs to be investigated under there to see if something happened. I heard there was a fire truck that had backed over there and maybe compressed it, and I just think we need to address it. And I think we owe it to the citizens to provide a safe walking surface. And, I think that it's not going to be that difficult to repair it. We either have to just lift that slab and re-pour it, or you're gonna have to level it somehow. But I think the smart thing would be to lift it up and see what's underneath there. And we need to report, we need to report.
It'll need to be reported.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess I don't know how you wanna go about it. If you're gonna try and do volunteer stuff, was that discussed at all, or are you gonna look for a contractor to do it?
Well, yeah, I think we should hire somebody to do it, I mean, to report it, but the town could lift it. I don't think, to find out what's going on there and do the repair, and then just have somebody come in and form it up and report it. It's difficult to plow there because of that lip on it. You could grind it off, I suppose. Do it. An easy fix that way. We're open. We talked about it at Parks and Islands. We just said, we've talked about this for a couple, 3 years now, and nothing's happened with it, so it's time to address it. And I don't think we're talking big bucks there.
No. Would you is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Just
Parks and
wait
Lands will
for it.
take it on. I mean,
Well, I'd like your time frame where you can try to get.
well, it'd be nice to get it done this fall, I think, if we can do it before it freezes up.
Sound good to me?
So
In the meantime, can you put like a red stripe on there so people know there's a trip
we
hazard?
could do that.
Okay.
We can certainly do that.
Matt, would you guys have time to take that slab off, that chunk of concrete?
Yeah.
So then I don't know
There's
what,
a steel pipe underneath there currently that
It is a steel pipe?
is.
Okay, it's not PVC. Oh, okay. Do you know what size it is, man?
6 or 8 inch. I had nothing to do with it, I just
Oh,
dug out both
Yeah.
ends of it, that's what was there.
because I'm sure you're gonna wanna re-ditch that whole thing, because you're gonna dig that all up for the overflow, and so I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that, have time to do it, or,
I can do it, I
okay?
can do it. We can do it.
be happy to work with you on it.
Well, we pull that slab that's moved up, out.
Yeah.
Then who do you want to inspect? I mean, you can leave that to Matt? I mean, I think that pipe was crushed. I've plowed this, not plowed, I've shoveled the snow here for many years, and it wasn't like that until about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Matt's tried to fix it. So Gordy's suggestion is right. We need to see what's underneath that, but then are you gonna have somebody else? I mean, we're asking just open questions, are you just gonna leave that to the foreman of the town of Bell to think what we can do with that, or then we're gonna have to pour some concrete?
Well, I think what we,
I can do the dirt work if you guys can contract out the concrete.
cause I think we don't really need to see what's under there. We know what's gonna need to happen. You need to take the concrete out. You need to dig up the overflow line, probably just run a whole new overflow line, and you can reshape the ditch,
Okay,
put a new chunk of culvert in underneath the slab and re-pour the slab.
okay,
So
I
it
just
just
wanted
needs
to
to
clarify
be,
what we were at.
yeah, no, we're figuring it out as we go, but I
Yeah.
can almost guarantee that's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah,
So
I
we're gonna have to
agree
do
with
the
that. Yeah.
process and, so, I mean, I know the town crew can do the dirt work and stuff, so we can probably just get somebody to pour it.
And somebody pour it.
I'm sure what happened there is all that water pushed that concrete up, the frost pushed it up, so might as well fix it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys wanna take that on and coordinate with Matt,
Yep. Do we need a motion?
I'll leave that to the Parks and Lands.
Okay, all right. We'll
All right,
move on it.
I'll paint a red stripe on that until we do that.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, street light upgrade,
This isn't really much of an upgrade, but, and it's also a small item compared to the last two, so.
good, I'll take it.
There was a request to me for a spot. Typically in Cornucopia, there's a street light on every intersection before, with any crossing with where there's a street in an avenue. And there's a real dark spot on Maple Street here that just goes between Michigan Avenue and Superior Avenue. It's very dark, and there's no light even close to there. And there is on the southwest side of that intersection, there is a pole that's got a transformer on it. And that would be an excellent spot to spill some light into Maple Street, and also it would spill some light into the driveway to the south of the parking area, south of the basketball court. And then there's a pole on the south side, so that would be the place to put light for lighting up Maple Street and the driveway, and then right behind on the north side of the basketball court, right behind that, there's a XL Energy pole. And it would be an excellent spot to put a street light so that some of that light would spill into this driveway coming in here. So it's just two more street lights. So I called XL Energy and asked how much it would cost to put up a street light. They own the street lights, but then it's just a flat rate, isn't it, Mary Beth?
It is.
For the light. And they wouldn't give me any information. They said I have to bring it to the town board, which I'm doing. Actually, it says, for municipalities, developers, and builders requesting streetlights, contact us to review product offerings, costs, and process. So I asked about the price, and she said, no, you just gotta run it through the town board. So I can't give you any price right now. So what I need is someone to give me the authority to call them and ask them for those prices. And how can you do that?
Did they say, is there something you need to sign?
There's a website. No, I just made a phone call. There's a website. You probably have to go on that and somehow and tell them that you're the chair of town bill or whatever. That's all they said was, oh, it says if you are a resident, please speak to the municipality.
Did you tell them your position?
I told them that I'm on the town board. That wasn't good enough. She said you have to go to the town chair or the clerk to, I don't know.
So, okay. So
I'm kind of baffled by that.
So I guess I don't know if they're requiring a town board motion or something.
Well, how can we prove that I got that motion?
Or the minutes.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess if we could just make a motion giving Jesse Casino the authority to, get pricing on streetlights for the
Yeah.
village. in the
Because I
town
wouldn't do
bell.
it, I wouldn't do anything until I went through the township anyways.
But, I don't know, I think we could do that if you want.
So you want that website or how do you want to?
Well,
do this?
no, we'll give you'll have the minutes and then you can talk
Okay.
to them, so then you'll have proof that you're on the board and you got permission and so on and so forth. I think everything will be covered then. So, I don't know, we'll start with that.
So
If that doesn't work, we'll try something
in other
else.
words, I will send them a copy of the minutes and
Yeah,
that should work. Then I'll come back to you guys on the next meeting.
so I guess I kind of started making a motion, so I'll make a motion that we give Jesse Casino, a supervisor on the town bell board, permission to get information from Excel Energy on new streetlights.
I'm sure that'll work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
The motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. There's no opposed. Okay, disposal of the old town dump truck. I think we should put it out on bids like we've done in the past. And Matt, is that going with all the equipment? Got like plow?
A plow, yeah, we would try to use put one of our older plows on there. We trade them in, yes, the
Okay,
tailgate sander and a plow.
so I think we should just put it on, Wisconsin surplus like we've done in the past. And Matt, can you put that, or do that listing?
I can do that, we'll see this.
Okay. Do I have a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion that we put the Old Town dump truck on the state or Wisconsin state surplus website.
What year is that truck, Matt?
I say it's 2012.
Okay, can you add that to your motion on
Okay.
2012?
2012 the dump truck. What
Peterbilt?
is that, Peterbilt? Yeah. Okay. 2012 Peterbilt dump truck on the state Wisconsin surplus.
Okay.
Website.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. No opposed. Town snow plow and driveways, Matt? Do you have something?
I just want to get some more clarification. I know we started the conversation this spring. Me and Kenny met at one time about possibly adjusting our rates to, like, per event type situation, similar to what Town of Bayfield does. Anybody remembers that discussion? Because there's certain people take advantage of paying a one-time year fee and complain over every 2 or 3 inches of snow, and others don't. If that makes any sense. We do have data, and the way we have it right now, we have a weighted 3-year average per minute cost that we come up with. And it's a lot of data to keep for a fairly simple process. I know there was talk that we were possibly overloading ourselves with our reports if something was to happen. So, I think currently we're in good shape as far as, we got two decent trucks, 2 decent plows, 2 good guys that help. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Chris, if he gets his replaced and that. So that's where we're at with the driving snow.
There's a couple of things in discussion, is not taking on any more work. At one time, the town of Bell had gone into a moratorium where they were no longer going to accept new customers. I think we need to bring that back. The other basic discussion is businesses, these rental properties, where people just pop in on Friday night and expect to get their driveway plowed. I think we need to lean towards turn those over to private enterprise. Get the township out of that, having to maintain business parking lots or business alleyways or business access to short-term rentals. We don't have access or know when those places are being rented. If we get a snowstorm that goes over a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somebody shows up and says, hey, I need my driveway plowed. We're gonna be the last ones to know about it until they complain. So if we can turn that over to a private enterprise, we need to think about that. I talked to Ricky Blau about private enterprise, him being one of the plow people in this town, and he says he want to take it on because he wants to cost him capital investment, another truck, another driver. He says he's pretty well satisfied with the work requirements he's got now for town of Clover and the little bit he does in the town of Bill. So it's something else we need to think about. If there's more plow operators in town like yourself, I see a couple of trucks running out here in the winter time with plows on it. If they're interested in taking on a driveway or something like that, might want to, put it on a bulletin board or something. I just don't want to see the town competing with private enterprise either. We're undershooting, what our operating hours are or operating costs per hour. Pretty expensive to go out there and buy a truck and plow and put a person in to drive it. I haven't seen our rates, so I don't know if we're competitive or if we're being reasonable on what we're charging.
What did you figure per minute?
I don't remember exactly where we're at. I want to say it was like $2.50 a minute is where we're at. With our, care to share where you're at all? Or,
Not really.
okay. So, I mean, that,
Well, I know one of the things with the Wisconsin Towns Association, it's happened before, where they decided to cut everybody off, and they came and said, no, if you're gonna offer a service, you have to offer it to everybody. And then the other thing too was, as far as rates go, is that the town shouldn't be operating a business. So they shouldn't, monies are made off taxes, not by providing a service. So the fee should cover the expenses, so this has come up before too. It's not meant for the town to make a profit.
But
Just
also
break
the town can't compete with private enterprises.
And then there's that.
And also, we can stop applying for new clients. We don't have to take on new people.
Okay.
That's what our lawyers say.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I know that he's saying in the past that the towns, some of their.
Yeah, well, that's because you can't discriminate. You can't say, I'll take people over 40 and not people under 40. You can't pick and choose, but you can stop doing things at any time. Like when we capped it before, I believe that was legal, and I think it would be to do it again. But I don't know if you were taking charge of that stuff. I don't know if you have enough information. I'm assuming
I
you
don't
do.
have enough history. I don't know what the cost is. You've invested in a brand new truck. We've got two drivers driving for doing driveways. We got two drivers for doing the highway plows. But looking at a lot of these driveways, we get into a heavy snowstorm, it's like, we're not gonna get in there with a pickup truck. We're gonna end up having, the town's gonna have to come in there with, if they won't be able to fit a big truck in a lot of these driveways, so they'll be in there with a front end loader or a backhoe trying to clean these driveways out. We don't seem to have an enforceable driveway ordinance to get people to cut the trees back and get the rocks out of the way. So that's, another hazard to the equipment. If we're gonna do driveway ordinances, we need to really make it enforceable, like, look, snow season's 2 months away, you gotta clean up your driveway. Cut the overhead branches or get the rocks out of the way or hire somebody to do it. But otherwise, it's a high risk. Especially if you're gonna get into a driveway where you're not gonna be able to turn around, or you're gonna hit a garage or an outbuilding or something like that, or a car trying to manipulate a bigger truck.
Well, those are the ones that have to be taken off the list, basically. Gotta be able to get in and out without any causing.
If you can't get a snowplow in there, how you get a fire truck in there?
That's the only way to enforce it, I guess. is to stop doing the ones that are causing the damage. And there is a driveway ordinance, but I don't know that by heart either, of course.
Actually, in the renewal letter that sends out, those things are supposed to be cleared.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say, that the ordinance is there, so there's no reason that when the town crew does their inspections, if it doesn't meet that requirement, you can say we're not following it.
Does that include the existing one? People have already signed on for it?
Yeah, because trees keep growing.
Yeah, no, I know that, but, I mean, I'm just saying, we need to do it every year. not
Yes.
just-
All right, yeah, you guys do it, or one of you does inspections every year, or maybe not everything, but, right? So when you do an inspection or when you're plowing, if you measure the driveway width and it doesn't meet the requirement, it doesn't meet the town ordinance.
Chairman,
Yes.
in a previous, town board, the driveway guys were told, if somebody wants their driveway plowed, plow. Even though we are asked to go in there and look at them, we were told, plow. So I don't know where that came from, but that's what we were told. And we have taken on more driveways in the last few years that I think at some times, other people wouldn't plow. It's not that we love to plow like marginal driveways, and we do go in and inspect, we get new people. So on my route, I give it to the foreman, and he goes, are you okay with this? But we were told, plow. So that's what's on your plate right now, is that there's people that are expecting to be plowed, and we plow. So saying, Jesse, what you just said as well, we gotta, if they're dicey, they should be dropped.
Yeah.
Well, they were dicey to start with. And Kenny, what you just said about in a big storm, well, that rarely happens, that we can't get in there to the driveways. It takes a long time, but, I mean, I don't know, the conversation, this has occurred many times in my life, even before I plowed driveways for the town. We've had huge meetings about it, so it's valid, but we were told a couple of years ago, plow. And then we had a whole bunch of people added on. Am I wrong on that, Matt, or is that correct? Okay, then I'm gonna be quiet. And I think Critter would say the same thing. Chris would say the same thing. Holy smokes, how do we have to do this when we were told it's discrimination? I think the clerk just said, well, if you plow one person, you gotta plow another. And we do go down and inspect, we do measure, we do this, but, there's still, even when it meets all the requirements, there's still some tight situations, and the chairman knows all about that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
So what I'm understanding now is we have a process, inspect it, it's improperly maintained, send a letter out, here's your notice. You don't fix it, sorry, not your luck, we're not gonna plow it. Seek private enterprise, should be the response. But, that just go out and plow it, that's putting a lot of risk on the driver, the equipment, and the property owners, buildings and cars and so forth that may be in the way.
Well, they do sign an agreement with us that, if we do bang into something, that's their problem. So you're right, Kenny, but there are places that, I mean, I actually like somebody to go for a ride with me sometime. And Critter would really like to.
Well, I think what you just said, that's not in writing. So if you want to make a motion, if that's what, I don't know if that's what you're getting at, but.
Yes, I make a motion that we do inspect the driveways. If they're non-conforming driveways, we send them a letter informing them that they will have to either correct the infractions or find private enterprise to support them.
I will second that motion.
So who sends the letter? You? Who puts the letter together?
Well,
Yep.
I guess I can. I can do a form letter, and then we just put person's name and address on it, call it a day.
Okay, so we can work with you then in getting that letter.
Deadline by a
Thank
certain
you.
date. They have to
When does it have to
comply.
be out by?
Well, they have to comply by a certain date.
When does the letter?
Well, I'll finish the motion. There's a motion made and seconded. I'm gonna recuse myself from voting. So all those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. There's no opposed.
Who seconded?
Jesse.
Just-
So,
I was just wondering if, when that letter has to go out by.
well, I think that letter could go out at any time of the year, but I mean, if there was a reason to.
Well, I mean, it has to be inspected before the first.
Well, yeah,
plowing.
but if something occurred over the winter that made it not a good candidate to plow anymore, then you could send a letter in January. You know, if somebody had stuff parked in so many ways that you can't get by it, or, you know what I'm saying? There might always be a reason. It could be any.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, initially, I mean, you said every driveway should be inspected prior to,
Correct. And,
signing an agreement with
yeah,
anybody for plowing. And
when do we get the agreements? Or when do we put the agreements out?
that was my question. When do they?
Well, those are different.
contracts?
I mean, those would be different from when they might do inspections.
Usually that letter needs to be returned by October 31st because we had that Halloween store. So it's always gone out before that. And it's once the rates are determined, if that's first thing of last year, they're not being increased, I send it out, but, so it's kind of after this meeting, are we keeping it the same? Is it changing? Because I can send those letters out at the end of the month, and it gives people 4 weeks.
That-
If you wait till that next month, they get 2 weeks to get that letter and get it back.
30 September would probably be best. Then we'd have time to send the letters out before Halloween, but we'd also have a town board meeting between that, or, you know, if we have any afterthoughts or anything else we have to discuss.
So you think they should be sent out at the end of September?
Correct.
Okay, so we're keeping the current rates.
We haven't discussed that part yet, because we're still on the inspection phase of this operation. So you guys would need to inspect driveways in September, let's say. If we were to include those letters at the same time that the snow plowing contracts went out. Does that make sense? I mean,
Yes.
it could be earlier than that, but if we just made a decision to send the letters out at the end of September.
September, October, is when we usually do the driveway inspection anyway, so it fits the time, we make it work.
All right, so that'll work. You're gonna do the letter and get that to them, or whoever, so we can send that out. And you just brought up something else, I forgot.
Oh, it was just, well, one thing I was gonna bring up is, has there ever been any discussion about requiring driveways to be marked? I mean, putting in stakes so that there's no
No, but I
question
think
about where they.
that'd be a good thing for him to add to
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Markings?
Chairman,
Yes.
this letter hopefully will also include the information that their driveways are inspected and they have to meet the requirement so that they don't end up after the fact when they get axed, saying, well, I didn't know, you know?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the letter, yeah.
So I'll give you the current letter of what we use and you can modify.
Please do.
So Matt, do you have recommendations on the rates?
Well, I would say, I'm not even sure what the cost of inflation at least is, I mean, everything's been more expensive here.
Is there any other discussion on that before Molly's looking up that information? I know you're still working on all this stuff. So.
Yeah, I know everybody's probably gotten a pay raise since the last snow plowing season, so rates should increase. Fuel costs have come down, but we've also got to make sure that, yes, we are not undercharging for service that someone else could be performing.
It says it's 2.7% this year.
Yeah. we're charging by the minute,
Yeah, well, yes,
2.5 cents, you said?
no, 2.7%. So, I don't know.
So we could raise rates by 2.7%. Or not raise rates, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could look at the current, what we charged last year and add the cost of living allowance or cost of,
Well, that would be the 2.7%.
2.7.
yeah.
So
$2.50 a minute.
we don't charge by the minute necessarily. I mean, they pay for the season.
Is there a house meter or something, they just estimate, go in and figure it out the
Well,
first
they
time?
keep track of data, but people pay for the season. So if we were to do an increase, it would be like, if their bill, if it was $500, it would be 2.7% or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
$10 or $100 or whatever.
For the averaging over the 3 years.
However you want to raise the rates. So if you, I don't know, somebody make a motion either, or say we don't want to raise the rates, but I don't care, I just want to hold on.
And to have a minimum, because last year there wasn't a minimum, and some of them were under $100 for the wage adjustments.
Oh, so that should be part of the motion too.
So,
Well, I think, I agree, but at the same time, Kenny's doing all the research on like,
Yeah.
as a whole, the whole snow plowing thing and rates and all that, so I think that could be part of the whole new ordinance or reworking or whatever that they come up with, you know? Cause I don't know.
I'd like to kind of make a motion of tables until Matt and Artie can come back with cost per driveway, based upon what the rate is, the new rate.
Well, we can't table it.
Okay,
We need to get this letter out before the next meeting.
all right.
there is a cost. They've been doing averaging for how many years now?
A lot.
Yeah, it's
5 or
been,
6.
I was
I
gonna
would,
say 5 or 6.
All right, let's just, if we've been doing it, it's been working, let's keep doing that then.
So it'd be at the 2.7%.
Yeah,
So you made a motion.
we'll make a motion that we increase the rates by 2.7%, based over last year's cost per driveway.
Second,
I'll second.
Gordy seconds it. I will recuse myself from voting. All's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All's opposed, say aye. There's no opposed. Was there anything else on that before we move on? Good, thanks. All right, set date for the budget workshop meeting. I would say, I think it's like the 1st and 2nd. That's Wednesday, Thursday.
Don't we do it in September?
Oh, good.
What is it, I think?
Budget meeting?
Yeah. This first week of October?
Well, that's just what I proposed.
Oh.
We could do it. I don't know, whatever.
So do it Wednesday and Thursday? Thursday and Sunday?
That's what I was thinking, but I mean, anybody else?
I'm okay with that.
I've got a commitment. I won't be back in Conocoche until the 3rd.
Okay.
October.
And go the 6th and
Yeah.
6th or 7th?
6, fine with me. 6 and 7 is
I
great.
can't do that
Monday,
7
Tuesday.
days?
Nope.
When can you do it?
before the 7th.
Oh, it's gotta be before the 7th.
Yes.
Got it.
At the
Okay.
6th? The 6th on Monday?
No,
No, that's too close for him.
Right, yeah.
6, I can do it on 3rd.
Or let's go in September.
Yeah, like
September.
next week.
I won't be here
Well, when do you have,
Thursday morning,
oh, so like
like the
tomorrow
day after
night?
tomorrow.
So then you gotta do it on a Saturday and Sunday.
I can do that.
What Saturday?
That would have to be like before, because then you're gone after that, and he's gone before that.
When are you coming back?
I'm leaving Huntsville probably the morning of the 1st of October, be back in the 2nd.
I'm okay with Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Can you do Friday, did you say no? Friday, Saturday?
I can do it the 3rd, I can do it the 4th, I can do it the 5th.
About the 3rd and 6th.
This is all
Could we do it?
October you're talking about.
He said he
Yeah.
could do it on the third. Could we do it on the third and the sixth?
Usually Friday night is busy.
You know, Friday night is busy, and we're usually here till like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Well, so the Saturday the fourth.
We do it in the morning?
Yeah,
Or
good.
prefer not to. Well, I usually work in the morning.
Yeah, you're working.
Well, okay, you have to be here, so I mean, to make things work, to try to do it on a Friday is really difficult. So we could have the 2 days, and do it,
Yes.
do it in September, and you get it done. If you have requests,
Yeah.
you can put it in for the different things, but sometimes that has happened where somebody can't make it.
Yeah.
And it's
The only
what it is.
request I'm gonna have is for the Northwest Planning, you know, based.
And then you could put that number in and give that to us, and we could put
Yeah.
that in.
So like
So
next
we-
week sometime? Or
Oh,
the 20, the week, the 22nd, that week sometime? I'm not available on the 25th.
That would work, it works for me.
I'm not available on the 25th.
No, but I'm saying on the
22nd.
22nd?
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. Monday and then Tuesday fall back, huh?
September 22nd?
22nd and 23rd.
September?
Yep,
Monday, September 22nd, and then,
Then
Should we
Tuesday-
need an extra
Tuesday is
one
the
to do the-
backup?
Yeah.
which normally we don't do, unless there's really something
We are traveling.
unusual.
October 22 and 23, what time?
6 o'clock?
6:00.
All right.
So we can come up with snap decisions.
Did you say October or September?
September.
September.
That was how many.
Everybody wanted that one. All right, so we got that set.
Yep.
Everybody on the same page?
Yeah.
September 22nd, 23rd.
Yep,
That
6
is a-
o'clock. 6 o'clock.
That is a board meeting, so people can come, but it's not fun, so I wouldn't.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. All right, is there anything else on that? No, we're done. Okay. Public comment period. Do you have any other public comments? All right, do you have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. We are adjourned at 8:31. Bicycling. Yeah. You have to drive around some big lake or something.
Yeah.
They close the highways for a weekend.
Yeah, he was talking, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the big
Oh, yeah, okay.
Anyway, I'm in the case on.
Is there anybody watching?